Calculate the area of the given triangle. In the last chapter, we learned that area equals 1/2 base times height. Since this is the decimals chapter, we'll use the decimal equivalent of 1/2, which is 0.5. So area is now equal to 0.5 times base times height. For the triangle we have, the base is 5 and the height is 1.7. So we need to multiply these three numbers. We know that 0.5 times 5 is 2.5. 5 times 5 is 25, but we have one decimal point. Now we need to multiply 2.5 times 1.7. I'll do this vertically off to the side. Beginning with 7 times 5, which is 35, carry the 3. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. Now I'll put a 0 as a placeholder. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. And I will add my columns to obtain 425, and I will count over a total of 2 decimal places, since each of the numbers I was multiplying had 1 decimal place. My answer then is 4.25 square inches. Remember, area is always measured in square units. Determine the circumference and area of this circle. The question has 2 parts, circumference and area. We'll start by focusing our attention on finding the circumference. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. In our fractions chapter, we used the fraction approximation of pi, which is 22/7. Now that we're in the decimals chapter, we will use the decimal equivalent of the approximation to pi, which is 3.14. For this problem, our radius is 0.7. So we want to multiply these 3 numbers in order to find the circumference of the circle. We'll begin with 3.14 times 2. I'll come off to the side to do that, and I'll multiply 2 by the digits above. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And I will put in my decimal point. And now I want to multiply 6.28 times 0.7. I'll again do that vertically. Beginning with 7 times 8, which is 56. I'll write the 6 and carry the 5. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 5 is 19. I'll write the 9 and carry the 1. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 1 is 43. I move over a total of 3 decimal places in my answer, since 6.28 had 2 digits to the right of the decimal place and 0.7 had 1 digit to the right of the decimal place. So I find that the circumference is 4.396 feet. Now we'll move on to find the area of the circle. Area equals pi r squared. In this chapter, we'll use the decimal approximation of pi, which is 3.14. Our radius is 0.7, and squaring means to multiply it by itself. So I'll multiply 3.14 times 0.7 times 0.7. 7 times 7 is 49, but since each of these numbers had one digit to the right of the decimal point, my answer will have 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. Multiplying 0.7 times 0.7 gives 0.49. Now I'll multiply 3.14 times 0.49. I'll do that multiplication vertically. Beginning with 9 times 4, which is 36. Write the 6, carry the 3. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. Write a 0 as a placeholder, then begin with 4 times 4, which is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Add these columns. Then count over 4 digits and put your decimal point there. Since each of the numbers I was multiplying had 2 digits to the right of the decimal point, my answer will have a total of 4 digits to the right of the decimal point. My area then is equal to 1.5386 square feet. Remember that area is measured in square units. At his restaurant job, Drew earned $43.90 in tips on Friday and $57.75 in tips on Saturday. How much did he earn in tips altogether? We want to add these two values, 43.90 and 57.75. Adding down the columns tells us 0 plus 5 is 5, 9 plus 7 is 16, carry the 1. 7 plus 3 plus 1 is 11, carry the 1. Then 1 plus 4 plus 5 is 10. Put in the decimal point to obtain the answer. Drew earned a total of $101.65 all together on Friday and Saturday. Alex purchased a notebook costing $3.91 with a $5 bill. How much change will he receive? we want to subtract $3.91 from $5. I'll write the question vertically, and I'll also add a decimal point and 2 zeros after the 5. I need to borrow from the 5. It becomes a 4 and makes the 0 a 10. I borrow from this 10, make it a 9, and make this second 0 a 10. Now I can subtract. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. Put in the decimal point. He will receive $1.09 in change. Lisa bought a spool of ribbon containing 5 yards. She used 3.25 yards of the ribbon to make a bow. How many yards of ribbon are left on the spool? This is a subtraction problem. We want to subtract 3.25 from 5. I will add a decimal point and 2 zeros onto the end of 5. I borrow from the 5, which becomes a 4 and makes the first 0 a 10. I borrow from this 10, it becomes a 9, and the second 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring down the decimal point. A pack of soda containing 24 cans costs $6.99. How much does each can of soda cost? Round the answer to the hundredths place. This is a division problem. We need to divide the total cost, $6.99, by 24 cans. Bring up the decimal point. 24 goes into 69 twice. 24 times 2 is 48. Subtracting gives us 21. We bring down the 9. 24 goes into 219 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36. Carry the 3. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 3 more is 21. We have 3 left over. Add a 0 and bring it down. 24 goes into 30 once. That's 24 with 6 left over. This is far enough for us to go in our division problem because we're asked to round to the nearest hundredths place. I use the thousandths digit to help me round to the hundredths place. Since 1 is less than 5, I keep the 9 and I end my decimal after the hundredths place. So each can of soda costs 29 cents. Bananas cost 59 cents per pound. How much will 4 pounds of bananas cost? This is a multiplication problem. We want to take the 59 cents and multiply by 4. 9 times 4 is 36. Carry the 3. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 more is 23. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 2 more is 2. Since 59 cents had 2 digits to the right of the decimal point, our answer will have 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. 4 pounds of bananas will cost $2.36. Joe drank 75 hundredths of a 32-ounce bottle of super soda. How many ounces of soda did he drink? Usually, when we see of in an application problem, we need to multiply to obtain the answer. 0.75 times 32. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Carry the 1. 0 times 2 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Now, I'll add a 0 as a placeholder and multiply 3 by the digits above. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. Carry the 2. 0 times 3 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Add down these columns. And since 0.75 had 2 digits to the right of the decimal point, my answer will have 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. Joe drank 24 ounces of his super soda. Below is a list of transactions that occurred on your checking account for the month of May. Record each transaction in the check register on the next page and determine the account balance at the end of the month. Here is a list of all of the transactions, and on this next page we have the transactions written again with the check register. On May 1st, the account balance was $365.12. On May 10th, your paycheck of $615.90 was deposited into your account. To find the new balance, we add $615.90 with $365.12 to obtain a new balance of $981.02. Then on May 15th, you wrote check number 201 for $51.71 to the party store. This is money that came out of your account, so we subtract $51.71 from $981.02. The new balance is $921.02. $29.31. On May 20th, you deposited a birthday gift from your uncle of $50 cash. We add $50 onto $929.31 to obtain a new balance of $979.31. On May 29th, you used your debit card at Cool Cakes to pay $31.80. This is money that came out of your account, so we subtract $31.80 from $979.31 to obtain $947.51. This is your ending balance for the month of May.